All right, guys. Welcome back to another rebooking of Summer Slam. Hope you checked out my 2007 booking. And now we're going to go back to 2001. Yeah, the invasion. What a fun time it was. It was actually a pretty good Summer Slam, but I think it could have been better given, how hot the business was at the time. And I definitely think, a few tweaks here and there would have made the card, much better. But yeah, let's get into the SummerSlam 2001 card right now. So we got, let me check when. So it was on August 19, 2001 in San Jose, California. Attendance around 15,000. Buy rate around 570,000. Tagline, finally, because The Rock has returned. All right. So, in the opening match, we got the Intercontinental Championship, Edge defeating champion Lance Storm. And then we got a 6-man tag match, the Dudley Boyz and Tazz defeat the Acolytes and Spike Dudley. And we got a unification match, Cruiserweight and Light Heavyweight Championship, X-Pac defeating Tajiri. And then we got Chris Jericho defeating Rhino. RVD defeating champion Jeff Hardy for the Hardcore Championship in a ladder match. Then we got the Brothers of Destruction defeating Diamond Dallas Page and Chris Kanyon in a Unification Tag Team Championship Steel Cage match. Then we got Kurt Angle defeating WWF Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin, but by disqualification. And in the main event, The Rock defeats the WCW champion Booker T. So yeah, this was a pretty good card. I definitely think there's a few things to tweak here. The tag match wasn't good. And obviously in my rebooking, like, Austin is not a heel. So, yeah. But I did like The Rock returning against Booker. That was kind of a dream match. Yeah, so it's a good card, but let me try and make it better. All right. So, the first match, we got the U.S. Championship match, Chris Kanyon, who better than Kanyon, versus Tajiri, as Stone Cold would like to say, Tajiri. Yeah, I think this will just be a fun match. Chris Kanyon, I believe Booker T gave him the United States Championship, so that's pretty funny. Yeah, you can just talk about who's better than Kanyon, and Tajiri can, win a number one contenders match, and Kanyon can mock Tajiri saying this is not the Japan Championship, this is the U.S. Championship, and and Tajiri can interfere in one of his matches, hit him with the miss, just to build the feud, and I'd actually give Tajiri the win. He was representing the WWF at a time, and he was very over. He was a great character, so I'd give Tajiri the win. All right, next match, we got the European Championship. We have Tazz defending against Rhino, so yeah, just a battle of two big men here. Rhino can win a number one contenders match, and they could both, after a couple matches they have, Rhino could surprise Tazz with the gore. And after a Rhino match, Tazz can surprise him with the big boots. So, yeah, just very simple build here. And you got to give Rhino the win. He was like one of the biggest stars from ECW. So, he has to get the win here. And, yeah, so it's 1-1 right now. All right, the next match we got for the WCW Tag Team Championship. We got the Natural Born Thrillers versus the Hardy Boyz. Versus Edge and Christian versus Raven and Tazz. So, you got, one WCW team, one ECW team, a couple WWF teams. And yeah, the build would just be simple. You can have the Hardys and Edge and Christian in a number one contenders match, and you can have Raven and Tazz kind of interfere with weapons, and Commissioner Regal makes it a 4-way tag, so Natural Born Thrillers are not happy about it. but they kind of make an alliance with ECW. And then the Hardys and Edge, obviously they don't like each other, but they kind of make an alliance. But there's some tension building between all four teams. And I actually give the Natural Born Thrillers the win. They could pin Edge and Christian after Christian kind of, some miscommunication. So it's slowly building the Edge and Christian feud down the line. All right, now we got the Intercontinental Championship match. Lance Storm defending against William Regal. So, yeah, I think this will be a fun technical match. Obviously, in the future, they became a tag team. So, but at the time, Regal was very over as commissioner and, surprisingly, kind of like the heart of WWF. He was really supporting the WWF. So, yeah, you can have Lance Storm talk to Regal and say, man, you changed. I remember in WCW, you're all about, wrestling. And William Regal would say, yeah, but you don't know what I've been through in WCW. And at least in WWF, he has charisma like you, and then, so you can kind of call Lance Storm boring and all that, lack of charisma. And then Lance Storm's like, you know what, I'm going to prove to you at SummerSlam that I have charisma. So, yeah, it should be a fun match. I'd actually give Lance Storm the win. Mike Awesome can come out and help Lance Storm because, they're Canadian buddies, so that makes sense. All right, next match, we got The Big Show versus Diamond Dallas Page. I really felt The Big Show was kind of underutilized in 2001. He definitely could have been a player in the Invasion. Yeah, you could have DDP try to lure The Big Show to WCW. And, he could call Big Show a joke. And he said, in WCW, you were treated right. You were treated like the giant that you are. And The Big Show could refuse and chokeslam DDP and say, he's happy here in the WWF. But DDP, he constantly, hits Diamond Cutter on Big Show, and he cuts a promo on him saying, I'm going to make sure you change your mind. And, yeah, they have a match at SummerSlam. And DDP does get the win here. He counters the chokeslam into a Diamond Cutter. And this would lead to down the line The Big Show joining WCW. So it makes sense. After, losing a big match, he kind of realized, yeah, that's not really working, and joins WCW later on. All right. Now we got the WWE Tag Team Championship match. So we got the Dudley Boyz versus the Brothers of Destruction. And yeah, you could have the Dudleys say, they jumped over to ECW because they dominated the WWF. They're the greatest tag team of all time, and, they're hell-bent on causing destruction. And Undertaker and Kane come out and say, the only people who cause destruction around here is me and Kane. And, kind of build the feud there. Have the Dudleys attack Undertaker after a match, put him through a table. And then same with Kane. And, they're heated. And William Regal says, you know what? You guys are going to get revenge at SummerSlam in a tables match. So, yeah, I think this would be it's kind of a low-key dream match, too. You got, the greatest ECW tag team against, obviously not the greatest WWF tag team, but, a super team, in a way, Undertaker and Kane. And, yeah, I'd actually give the Dudley Boyz the win here. I don't know if it's going to be clean or not. But, yeah, I'll give them the win. They can 3D Kane through the table and get the win. All right. Now we got RVD versus Kurt Angle for the Hardcore Championship. So, yeah, obviously, Jeff Hardy, RVD was a great match, but I decided to change it up here a bit. And the dynamic here would be interesting because RVD was getting cheered here. And in my rebooking, obviously I didn't make Kurt the next Lex Luger here, but he's on Team WWF. He's a good guy, but I'll be interested in seeing the dynamics if they would cheer RVD over Kurt here. Yeah, and RVD can say, Kurt, you're a great technical wrestler, but you ain't hardcore. And Kurt says, you know what, I'm gonna prove it to you. He faces like Raven, Tazz in hardcore matches, and then RVD's like, yeah, it's pretty impressive, Kurt. But you can't beat me, RVD. And Kurt says, I can be hardcore, and especially when, my company's on the line. I'm going to show you how hardcore I am. So I think this would be a great hardcore match. Kurt Angle could also say, like, you see what I did as Shane McMahon, one of your co-owners? Imagine what I'm going to do to you. And, so hardcore championship match. And I actually give RVD the clean win here. RVD was super over. You got to take advantage here. So, yeah. And then the last match, the co-main event, WCW Championship match. The Rock challenging Booker T. So, yeah, you can kind of have the same feud here. Obviously, like, Booker T kind of felt he was belittled by The Rock, so maybe, not do all that, like, who in the hell are you? Who in the blue hell are you? And calling him dumb. It was funny, like, it was entertaining, but it kind of made Booker look bad, though. I think it'd be, to build it more on, the dream match. Booker says, I was the people's champ. I was the man in WCW, I was the fan favorite. And The Rock can say, this ain't WCW, this is the WWF. And, they can kind of build off, how they both went through adversity to make it to the top, but there's only one room for the top guy. And, you can have Booker and also Shane help, attack The Rock and build sympathy there. And I'd actually give Booker T the win. I felt like him losing at SummerSlam really hurt his credibility. He wasn't seen as like a top guy after that. And, or maybe by disqualification, The Rock wins, because I know it's The Rock's return. But I just felt like you had to keep the title on Booker for a little longer. So, so Booker retains, but The Rock wins by disqualification. Maybe that's when Shane comes out, hits The Rock with a chair or something. All right, in the main event, the WWF Championship, Stone Cold Steve Austin, still a face, still representing the WWF, versus Chris Jericho. So in my rebooking, I actually have Jericho not in the King of the Ring match. I'd actually have him win the King of the Ring tournament. So he's not in the title match with Benoit and Austin, but he wins the tournament. I think he'd be a better winner than Edge, to be honest. And obviously, I'd have here that the winner of the King of the Ring gets the title match at SummerSlam. So yeah, they kind of build it up like Jericho wins. He's challenging Austin at SummerSlam. It's supposed to be WWF versus WWF, but there's rumblings of will Jericho turn to WCW, ECW. You can kind of have like them in tag matches where Jericho accidentally hits Austin with a chair, and you can have Jericho like be seen meeting with Shane McMahon somewhere. So and like build the anticipation if he's gonna turn. And I would actually have Jericho win with the help of Shane McMahon here, and he becomes WWF champion, but he also defects to the ECW WCW alliance here, and that's how you kind of end the show here. So I feel like the start of the division, you need the ECW WCW alliance to dominate, and I think they did here. Like Jericho, he defected. RVD got the win. The Dudley Boys retained. DDP, he wins, and he's kind of bringing Big Show over. Natural Born Thrillers retain. If you look at this, yeah, I think WCW almost won every match here, but I think it'd be good just to build some adversity. So when WWF finally comes back and fights back, I think it'll be a great moment. So yeah, guys, this is my SummerSlam 2001. Let me know what you think. And here we go. So we got the U.S. Championship match, Chris Kanyon versus Tajiri. European Championship match, Rhino versus Tazz. The WCW Tag Team Championship match, Natural Born Thrillers versus the Hardy Boyz versus Edge and Christian versus Raven and Tazz. Intercontinental Championship, Lance Storm versus William Regal. Diamond Dallas Page versus The Big Show. World Tag Team Championship, the Dudley Boyz versus the Brothers of Destruction tables match. Hardcore Championship, RVD versus Kurt Angle. WCW Championship, The Rock versus Booker T. And the WWF Championship, Steve Austin versus Chris Jericho. So yeah, guys, that is my card. Let me know what you think. Appreciate the support and peace.